From Case Keenum, who will sign Jadeveon Clowney? I'm going to guess the Browns are the one that bring him back, given all the links to as a reunion there, and edge is still an area of need for the Cleveland Browns. If it's not Cleveland, some other teams you could always keep an eye out for, right? How about the Miami Dolphins? They have tried to get Clowney for a long time. Maybe this is the year. I somehow doubt it from that standpoint. The Baltimore Ravens, they tried to get Zadarius Smith. They missed. They did draft David Ojabo in round 2, but he's not going to play this year, I don't think. So there's your short-term answer. The Rams got to replace Von Miller. If Clowney wants to go ring chasing, LA is a pretty great spot for it. The Atlanta Falcons, I would be a bit surprised, but from a need perspective, I mean, Clowney's better than Lorenzo Carter. Having Carter as edge 3 with Ebiketie as edge 2 and Clowney as edge 1 is a lot better than what they had last year. And I'll just mention the Philadelphia Eagles. They love to get aggressive if they can. More of a dark horse contender from that standpoint. But Philadelphia could be fun for Clowney, given how much they like to add sometimes veteran options. Those are my guesses. I want to hear from you now. Where do you think Clowney will play in 2022? This question is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Trent Sherfield, what is it today? Former NFL receiver day? Asking about a receiver. Where will Odell Beckham end up? It's a great question. I assume back with the LA Rams. That would be the most likely destination since he liked it in LA, won the ring. They haven't brought him back yet. If he doesn't go back to LA, let's expand that field of destinations here. New Orleans Saints. Just keep bringing in the local boys. Honey Badger would love it. I would not rule out the Green Bay Packers. I know they drafted Christian Watson in round 1. Despite what some big media might tell you, that receiving core is still not that great. I don't know if Watson's going to be ready to be a day 1 starter, and OBJ's better than the washed-up corpse of Sammy Watkins. The Colts could make sense with Matt Ryan. The Ravens, again, imagine Lamar and OBJ. That'd be pretty damn fun out there. Maybe you send him back to the Giants. My boy Marshall was telling me how much he missed OBJ the other day. Minnesota, Tennessee. I'll drop those two as like sleeper dark horses, especially like if OBJ doesn't sign till midseason. Those teams are somewhat thin with starting caliber receivers. If they're contenders, they could make sense for Odell Beckham. So question time for you now. Who will sign OBJ? Make your predictions for me in the comment section. Which team, whether it's this week, next week, a month from now, whatever, do you think will sign Odell Beckham? Greenback, 25. I heard Andy Isabella and N'Keal Harry on the trade block. Who could get them? Literally anyone that wants them. Those two players, Arizona State's and then UMass, of course, now with the Patriots and the Cardinals, have not been good football players. They have been busts at this stage. So teams that need a receiver at some level, the Falcons, the Ravens, the Titans, the Vikings, the Packers, yes, still Green Bay, as far as I'm concerned. They could offer a conditional 7th-round pick, and I think the Cardinals and Patriots say, yes, let's do it, and they accept that trade then and there. They might just end up getting cut, by the way. I want you to now name a player who you want to trade for. Could be any player, any team. Try to keep it somewhat realistic. Let me know in the comments. Patrick Hoffman, which receiver do you think EDC will sign or trade for before week 1? That's Eric DeCosta, by the way, the Ravens GM. The core looks slim. Yeah, I agree. I think it is very slim on that standpoint there. I think you're looking at Julio Jones, T.Y. Hilton. There are a lot of good free agent receivers that team could go pursue. I would go get one ASAP because I agree. That is the one thing that team really is lacking in terms of glaring needs on their roster once they eventually get healthy again. All right, Travis Baker. What teams are fits for D'onta Hightower? Lots of them. I think any team that runs a variation of that Patriot-style defense, right? Including the Patriots themselves. I know producer Jack desperately wants him to return to New England. Tennessee didn't really add any linebackers. It's out of a late-round pick from Chance Campbell. Hightower could be a fun fit there. Miami's not in desperate need of any linebackers either after they drafted Channing Tindall, but I feel like Hightower's a better version of a Landon Roberts, so, bring him in. Denver didn't do much at inside linebacker. The Ravens could have some fun on that standpoint too. Hightower being unsigned is interesting. I don't think he's as well regarded as he once was, but he can still help your football team. So when it comes to D'onta Hightower, one of the more under-the-radar linebackers who are in free agency, where do you think he ends up signing? Make your prediction for me right now in the comments section. From Jim Panson, 84, which day 3 pick do you think could have an immediate impact? So there are going to be a lot of guys on day 3 that step up and play a big-time role early. I think the first 3 picks of day 3, right? Cade Otton to the Bucks, Dameon Pierce to the Texans, Perion Winfrey, all those guys could step up sooner rather than later. Looking through my list here as well, I like Neil Farrell a lot. The Charlie Kohler pick I like. Technically, your kickers and punters can make a big impact, but I hate that. Calvin Austin to the Steelers. I really like that pickup in the 4th round as well. We mentioned Tyler Algier of the Falcons earlier in today's live show. He's a good fit as an early impact type of player. Those skill position players also often make their impact felt kind of quickly. I thought Jamari Salyer to the Chargers was a steal later on in the draft. That's another one in terms of offensive line play who could make a nice impact for you. For live shows, NFL news, rumors, and more, all season and off-season long, you've come to the right spot. Hit that big red button and subscribe at youtube.com/chatsportstv. From Oh My Lord, who will be the first quarterback drafted next? I assume you mean year. It is way too early, and we will do some way too early mock drafts. It would be an early 2-team race, I think. 2-player race. Bryce Young, the Alabama quarterback, and C.J. Stroud, the Ohio State QB. Hey, maybe Spencer Rattler actually is decent under pressure next year, but these are the early favorites in what appears to be a better class than what we had this year. I say appears to be because there's an entire year of college football to be played. Changes happen. It's not by any means a locked and loaded thing. Who do you think goes first of these two? BY for Bryce Young or CJ for CJ Stroud? JTH, who has the better team right now when fully healthy, Ravens or Bengals? It's a good question. The Bengals, of course, just made it to the Super Bowl, so tough to go against them. But I will make note, fully healthy Ravens are awesome. They were not healthy last year. They were decimated by injuries. If you promise me a fully healthy Ravens roster, and given the historical impact of potential Super Bowl loss letdown seasons, I think I might lean towards the Ravens, but at minimum, they got to have Lamar Jackson healthy. Otherwise, it is very clearly the Bengals from that standpoint. From Pablo, who had the best draft? The ones that I liked the most, the Baltimore Ravens, I thought crushed it this year. I thought Philadelphia did a fantastic job as well. And I also thought that the Chiefs did. Those 3 teams in particular, amongst several others, all did a really good job. From James Heiner, what do you think will be the most intriguing quarterback battles once camp starts? Great question, I should say. Steelers jumps out with Mitchell Trubisky against Kenny Pickett. Beyond that, things are mostly settled. The Falcons, Desmond Ridder, Marcus Mariota, another good one. Whatever happens in Carolina feels like one. They can't enter the year with just Darnold and Ridder, right? They got to add, or Darnold and Corral. They got to add somebody else in there. The Niners, if they keep Jimmy G, I guess that could be a competition. And whatever's going to happen in Seattle, Drew Lock, Geno Smith, and I hope a third QB also makes sense. DCX Viper, who are your top prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft? I won't go too far in depth. We will eventually do a way too early 2023 class. Jackson Smith in no order. Jackson Smith in Jigba, the next great Ohio State wide receiver. Michael Mayer, tight end from Notre Dame. Clemson's got some good defensive ends. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Jalen Carter from Georgia, and the number 1 guy right now, that is Will Anderson, the edge rusher out of Alabama. He would have been the consensus number 1 pick this year had he been draft eligible.